Web development or web programming gave birth to dynamic web applications. Now, with the rise of the web, JavaScript has become one of the most important languages in today's world. Hi everyone, this is Shantani from Edureka, and in today's live session, we will have an in-depth knowledge about the array methods in JavaScript. Now, before I begin with the session, I would like to have a confirmation that I'm audible to you guys. So it looks like I'm audible to you guys. So let's get started with today's session. Now, before we begin the session, let's have a look at today's agenda. So first, I'll give you a brief introduction to JavaScript, and then we will have a look at the different fundamentals of JavaScript. And out of those, we will finally discuss about the JavaScript array. Next up, we will discuss about the differences between an array and object. And finally, I will show you the different array methods that are used in JavaScript and how you can use array while writing your code in JavaScript. Now, before we start with the session, don't forget to subscribe to Edureka's YouTube channel to stay connected. So let's get started. Now, what is JavaScript? Now, JavaScript has definitely become one of the most important programming languages when it comes to the web applications or any sort of web development. The rise of the web has taken JavaScript places it was never conceived to be. Now, basically, JavaScript is a high-level interpreted programming language that is used to make the web pages more interactive. It also allows you to implement complex and beautiful things or creative designs on your web pages. So to sum it up, JavaScript actually gives life to your web page and makes it more interactive and look more alive. Now, if you wish to know about JavaScript in details and also learn about the basics and fundamentals, you can go back and check out our video Learn JavaScript in 60 minutes, or you can follow the JavaScript tutorial as well. That will help you know about the basics in JavaScript. Now, moving on, we will talk about the different fundamentals of JavaScript. So some of the basic things that you must know if you are starting to write a code in JavaScript are the variables, constants, data types, objects, arrays, functions, conditional statements, loops, and switch cases. Now, all of these together will help you write a code in JavaScript that will give you an output which will be a beautiful website or a web page. Now, if you know how to use all of these fundamentals in JavaScript, you can do a lot more with your web page. You can check out the videos in our JavaScript playlist in order to get into the depths of all of these fundamentals involved. Now, for today's session, we will have a deeper insight in one of these fundamentals, that is the arrays in JavaScript. Now, what are the JavaScript arrays? The arrays are basically used to store multiple values in a single variable itself. So the array is a special variable which can hold more than one value at a time. Now, for example, if you have a list of items in your shopping cart, you would want to store it in one place. For example, you would create a list of all the items that you want to buy. Now, the array represents those elements in your list. So you can have a look at the syntax of array here. You just have to define your array name, and then you can put up the item names from your list inside the array itself. It can hold more than one item inside the list. So this will help you have one particular sorted list for all your items that you want to keep a track on. Now, there are a lot of confusion between the arrays and the objects. So while working on JavaScript and using the console, if you're using the type of operator and checking the lists in your array, it will show as objects. So there's a lot of confusion between these two. Now, arrays are special type of objects. So the type of operator in JavaScript returns objects for arrays as well. So you can have objects in an array and you can have functions in an array. Now we have already seen the syntax of how you can write an array in JavaScript, but there are two different methods as well. Either you can define one array with no values inside it, or you can use the let keyword, give the array name, and also write new array that will create an undefined array. And for object, all you have to do is take the let keyword and define the name of your object, and inside the curly braces you have to define the parameters that you have taken for your object. For example, here you have a girl, and the girl is your object with parameters as name, age, and eye color. So all you have to do is put all these parameters inside your object. So now that you know what are JavaScript arrays and how you can define them, and also the difference between array and object, let's move ahead and have a look at the different JavaScript array methods. And also let's have a look what and all we can do with the help of arrays while writing a code in JavaScript. So first let's see how this array works. So we have to use the let keyword, and I have to give a name to my array. So for example, I want to put items in a list and for my shopping cart. So let's see what we can do. So we can give the name as list items equal to, and we can provide our items to create the list. So suppose I'm just putting elements like bag, shoes, dress. Suppose these are the items that I would want to put inside my list. Now to get the output, we just have to write console.log, and inside that my array name, that is list items. Now let me just save this one. So here I've created an HTML file and I have linked it to my example.js, which consists of my JavaScript code. So what I'll do is I've saved this one. So now we will just go to the console. So once I run my HTML file, I will come to this particular web page, which has the head tag as welcome to Edureka. Now in order to get into the console, you have to just go to inspect, and here you have the console option. So you can see the output here, and also you can see that it will give you the index number for each of these items present inside your array. So now in arrays, always the index number starts from 0 and not from 1. So you can see that the index value for bag is 0, for shoes it is 1, and for dress it is 2. It also provides you the entire length of your array, that is 3, because you have 3 items here. Now you can also define a particular item from your list with the help of its index value. For example, I want to get the element or the item from my list as shoes. So what I can do is I can take that particular element with the help of the index number as well. So here the index number for shoes would be 1. So all I can do is in my console.log, I will mention the index number or the index value as well. So I've provided the index value as 1, that is list items 1. So now I'll just save this one and go back to my console. Now you can see that it has changed. The output has changed to shoes. Initially it was showing me the entire array list items, that is it was showing me bag, shoes, and dress, all 3 of them. But right now when I have already mentioned that I only want to get the item that is present in the index number 1, the output has changed to shoes only. Now you can also change the value of the variables, or you can insert items in your list, or also you can remove items from your list. Now if you want to add another particular item in this array, what you have to do is just take the name of your array, that is list items, and then add the index number where you're going to add it. So suppose I'm adding it in index number 3, and I just have to provide whatever I want to insert. So suppose I'm just writing watch, and then I'll close this with a semicolon. So now I just have to save this, and now when I go back to my console, you can see that the array items have changed from bag, shoes, dress to now there has been a watch that has been added into the list. Now you can also replace a particular item from your array in the same way. So for example, I want to replace the dress with the watch. So I just have to change the index value here. So I have given the index value for watch as 2 now. So now let me just save this one. Now when I go back to my console, you can see that you have three items again, but those are bag, shoes, and watch, and the dress has been changed with watch now because we have replaced the value of dress with watch by giving the index number for watch as 2. So this is how you can insert another value in the list of items, or you can replace any particular item in your array as well. Now another method used in arrays in JavaScript is the length. Now what do we do with this length method? Basically this will provide you that how many items are present in your list, or what is the length of your list. So what you can do is just write list items dot length in console.log, and this will give you the total number of items present in your list. So I'll just save this one, and now I'll go back to my console, and now you can see that it gives me the output as 3. So basically it says that how many number of items are present inside my array. So this gives you the length. Now there's another method called as the concat method. Now concat method is used to return a new array comprised of this array joined with other arrays. So basically what happens is, if you have two different arrays and you want to join them together, then you use the concat method. So it will help you in joining or concatenating these two arrays or more arrays together. So here we have one array that is the list items, and we have a few items inside this particular array. So let's take another array here. So suppose I will name it as colors, and then I will provide the colors as blue, green, and red. So now with this we have created another array here. Now we have two different arrays, that is list items and colors. Now if I want to join both these arrays together, what I have to do is I have to go to console.log, and suppose I want to join colors and list items together. Now I first want the colors and then the items, so I have to write it as colors and then use the concat method. And inside this I will add the array that I want to concatenate here. So my first array is list items. So now let's just save this one. So it should basically give me the elements inside the colors array and then give me the values from the list items array. So now let's go to our console. So now you can see that the arrays have been joined together. So you can see the values inside your array as blue, green, red, bag, shoes, and dress. And also the total number of elements have changed to 6. Now you can see that the index number is also given here. So the first 3 elements belong to my second array, that is the colors, and the next 3 items are from my first array, that is the list items. Now if I want to do the opposite, all I have to do is just change it to list items and then concatenate colors. Now when I save this one and go back to my console, now you can see that the order has changed from blue, green, red, bag, shoes, dress to bag, shoes, dress, and then blue, green, red. That is, the first array is there, which is my list items array, and then you have the next array, that is the colors, concatenated with the first one. Now next up we will have a look at the push and pop methods in array. So let's see how the pop method works here in array. Now this method is used to remove the last element from an array and also return that particular element. So what happens is, here I have the array as bag, shoes, and dress. Now when I use the pop method here, it will just remove the last element, that is the dress, from my array and return that particular value. So now let's see what is the output here. Let me just save this one. And now when we go to the console, you can see that the output is dress here, because pop method is used to remove that element and also return that particular element from your array. So basically it always removes the last element or the end of your list. In the same way, push method is used in order to add any particular element inside your list. So pop removes the element from the end, push inserts any element into the end of your list. So for example, here I will just add watch again inside my array. Now suppose here I'm pushing another element. So what does this push method does is it will provide you the new length of your array. In the pop method, we just used to get the return value as the one that has been removed from the array, and with the help of push method, the return value is the length of your updated array now. So now that I have pushed another element inside my array, the value should be 4 now. So let's see what it shows. So let me save this one, and now let's go back to the console. So you can see that the output is 4 here. So basically it updates the length of your array and also updates another element inside it, and the return value with push is the value of your new or updated array. Now another commonly used method is the reverse method. Now this reverse method is used to change the position of your elements in the list. So what it does is it will reverse the entire array that you have created. So here I have bag, shoes and dress. Now the first element would become the last, and the last element would become the first element here. So now I will just save this one, and now we'll go to the console and see what is the output. So now you can see that the number of elements are still the same. The items inside your arrays are also the same. Only the order has been reversed here. So initially our array started with bag and ended with the element dress. But now that we have used the reverse method, the values have been changed. The last one has become the first element, and the first element has become the last one. Now there's another method known as the shift method. Now the shift method is used to remove the first element from an array and return that particular element. Now we had the pop element for the end of your array, that is the last element, and here we have the shift method for removing the first element. So here we'll see how the shift method works. So all we have to do is just use the shift method along with my array name, and now I will save this one. And now let's go back to the console and see. So now you can see that the output is bag. So my array was bag, shoes and dress, and in this order. So the first element was bag. So now as soon as I've used the shift method here, what it has done is removed the very first element from my array. Now the return value is also that particular element that has been removed from my array. So this is how the shift method works here. Now the next one is the slice method. So slice method usually extracts a section of an array and returns you a new array. So what you can do is you can use the slice method here, and you can provide any particular beginning and ending value that you want to slice from your array. Now the return value would be the values that have been extracted from the array. So now here I have given the beginning value as 0 and the ending as 1. So the value or the element present in the index number 0 will be extracted from my array. So now if I save this one and go back to my console, you can see that the output is bag, that is the extracted value from the array, and the index here is 0. Now let's just change this. So if I change it to 2, you can see that from the position 0 and 1, the values must be extracted. So my output should be bag and shoes. So let me save this. Now you can see that the output has changed from bag to bag and shoes because it will take the value as 0 and 1. So you have to define the beginning and the ending value here, and it will take the -1 value. So as I've given 0 and 2, it will take the values as 0 and 1, that is 2 minus 1. So it will extract the values from the position 0 and 1. And also it will return those particular values itself. So that's why the output was bag and shoes. Next up, we will have a look at the sort method. So the sort method basically sorts all the elements of an array. So if you have numbers here, it will sort from the smallest number to the largest one, that is in the ascending order. Or if you have strings here, so it will arrange them in the alphabetical order. So now let's see, we have used the sort method here, and now let me save this one and see what is the output. So you can see that the order has been changed from bag, shoes, dress to bag, dress and shoes. So the elements in the list have been arranged according to their alphabets. So it's arranged alphabetically. So B comes first and then D and then S, and that's exactly how the elements in the list have been sorted. So with the help of a sort method, you can just arrange all your elements in any particular order that you want. If you do not mention anything, it will sort according to the alphabets or according to the values if there are numbers here. Now the next method is the toString method. So with the help of the toString method, what we can do is take the array elements inside our array and get the output in the form of a string. So what it does is it returns a string representing the source code of the specified array and all its elements. So here I have added these three items inside my list or the array. So now during the output, I'll just use the toString method with my array, that is list items dot toString method. Now let's see, let me save this one and let's look at the output. So you can see that in the console you see bag, shoes and dress, but this time all three of them are in the string format. Now to show you the difference, let me just take the output as array only. Now let me save this one. And now let's go back to the console. Now you can see the difference. So initially with the help of toString, it was only defined as a string. Here you can see the array elements. So you can see the index value and it is also represented in the form of an array. But as soon as you add this toString method and save this one, and now go back to your console, you can see that all these three values here are shown in the string format. So this is what you can do with the help of your toString method. The array elements are represented in the form of a string here. Now we have already discussed about the shift method. So now let's have a look at the unshift method. So this unshift method is used to add one or more elements to the beginning of an array and also return the new length of the array. Now shift was used to remove the first element of your array and return that particular value itself that has been extracted. But with the help of unshift method, we will be adding elements in the beginning and also return the length. So here I will use the unshift method, and suppose I want to add two values inside my list. So let's just add watch and let me add glasses. So here basically I'm adding two more values inside my array. So the list of items will become 5 from 3 now. So now let me save this one, and also it returns me the value of the length of my array now. So how many values I've added and what is the new or the updated length of my array will be shown as the output. So now let's go to the console. Now you can see that the output here is 5. That is the updated length of my array. So here I had 3 values initially and I've inserted 2 more elements inside my array with the help of the unshift method. So now the value has changed from 3 to 5. That is the length of the array has changed to 5 now. So with the help of unshift method, it returns you the value of your new or updated length of your array. So here you can see that the value has changed to 5. Now there's another method called as the join that is also used to join all your elements in the form of a string. Now with the help of toString method, we have seen that how we can convert the array values into a string. The join also does the same thing, that is, it converts all the array elements and joins them together in the form of a string. So suppose you have 2 or more arrays here and you want to join the values and form a string, or you want to give any particular string output and then join the items from your array inside it, you can do with the help of join. So now with the help of this join method, you can see that all your array elements have been converted into a string here. So to explain you a little more about the join method, so suppose I want to add this particular string, that is string name, with all my elements in the array itself. So it will take the list of items and add this string name in between all of these elements. So basically it will join the elements from the array with the help of this particular string. So here I have bag, then shoes, so it will be bag, string name, shoes, string name, dress. This is just a name that I have given. Suppose you want to add them with a plus sign or anything, you can add it with the help of that as well. So let me save this. Now when I go back to my console, you can see the output here. So the array elements have been changed into a string and they have been joined together with the help of this string name. So when I left it blank, it was just bag, shoes and dress itself. Now I've joined these elements with this particular value. You can just also write a plus sign here in order to show that how it is joined. Now save it, and then once we go back to the console, you can see that it shows the output as bag plus shoes plus dress. So basically it is joining all the elements from your array and then converting it into a string and giving you the output in the form of a string. So these were some of the most commonly used methods when it comes to using the arrays in JavaScript. Now there are various other methods that you can use to perform different actions. For example, if you want to call any particular value or if you want to return the last index, you can use the last index of, and you can also filter out the elements with the help of your filter method. So there are various methods in array that can be used here, but these were some of the most commonly used and also the most important ones that you would need while writing any particular code in JavaScript or while working with arrays in JavaScript. Now this was all about how we use the array methods and also how arrays help you in working in JavaScript, and also the various definitions or the different ways that you must know while working with this particular method. So with this, we have come to the end of our session today. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section below. Also, do let us know about your opinion right there. Don't forget to stay tuned to the Edureka YouTube channel for more such videos, and also we will get back with more such informative videos about the other fundamentals that are involved in JavaScript. Till then, thank you and happy learning.